Melodye Reynolds. I am an intentional living coach, and what that basically means is I help you simplify your life and live it with purpose. I help you get rid of clutter and get back to basics, and I talk a lot about Bible study and faith and health and just tips to help you go from chaos to clarity, as I am still doing and perfecting and refining. So, I'm in a really good mood today, but it's been a really weird day. So that's what I wanted to come on and talk about, what was relevant to me today, because so let me just tell you, I'm a seer and a feeler in the kingdom. Sometimes that's called an empath, but people can get kind of freaked out when they hear the word empath because they think it's woo-woo-y, non-Christian stuff. But I believe God made us all, unique and gifted with different things and different abilities. And all an empath really is, or a seer and a feeler is, I can really pick up on people's moods. If I walk into a room and people are very stressed out, I can sense that very quickly. If somebody is dealing with depression and they're down and even if they're smiling, I can kind of sense that. And it can be exhausting for me. It can be very draining. That's why if you are a seer or a feeler or an empath, and probably large crowds are not your favorite thing. Or you can take them, but in small doses. That's like me. I'm very outgoing, but I have to have time alone. I'm introverted in that fact. That's how I recharge. I'm going to give you some tips on what to do when you're in that negative space like that and you're trying to stay positive and not get drained. Another one of my gifts is that I am often called to help people cross over. Now, that's not a gift that I want by any means. It's very hard on me, but God gives me the grace to do it and sees me through it each time. And so I think that goes along with my seeing and my feeling. I can kind of pick up when somebody is ready to pass, but maybe people around them are all usually fighting it. And I have to kind of come in and bring the acceptance of, yes, this is happening. And I usually give some peace to the person crossing over. Now, do not fear, don't get woo-woo-y on me. This is all stuff that's part of the kingdom. I think one thing we've got to understand and realize is that, if you read your Bible, there were lots of signs and miracles and wonders in the Bible, especially around Jesus, okay? I think we forget that kind of stuff comes with being a Christian. It's not necessarily like, because I think a lot of times we don't want to mess with anything that's not of God, obviously. So I'm not into talking to spirits and things like that. But I can sense things. I believe God gave me that as a gift. I can pick up on people's moods, even if they're smiling. If they're very downtrodden in their soul, I've been gifted with being able to feel that. Even as a child, I remember, I could sense people's moods, and it was draining for me even then. But I've learned some tips and tricks since then to help me not be as drained and to not accept the energy as my own, because that's the draining part. When we get in that place and someone's having those issues, we tend to take that on ourselves and it can weigh us down. And so what we have to do is learn to protect our own energy, right? And be around that, and we can still be helpful, but not carry the weight of that. I was a teacher for 10 years, and there were a lot of kids that I knew through those 10 years that were being abused, that had a lot of heavy issues that they were dealing with at home, and I could pick up on it before the parents even told me about it. A lot of times the parents would confide in me, because when you are a seer and a feeler, people get comfortable with you and they tend to confide in you. And that also can be a weight, though, because then you know all the things that's going on with them and you start to carry that. It becomes sort of a burden for you if you don't know how to keep it from being so, okay? So today I was out and about and encountered some individuals who were not in the best of moods. Let's just say that. Some very stressed out individuals, okay? Very down individuals. And I had to really work at keeping my joy. So let me explain some of what I do with that gift, but I don't want it to weigh me down and wear me out and affect me so much that I have to recover. I have to spend a day or two recovering from it. So one of the things that I do, I do this every day, but when I know that I'm going to be going out around people, I say a special prayer and I'm looking at my notes, where I just, pray over myself and I say, I don't accept anybody's energy but my own, Lord. Help me to keep my joy today. Help me to wear love today. Help me to, respond in ways that would be helpful today. But I do not accept anybody else's energy. I just accept my own. And that way, when I pray about that and I ask for God to help me, and I will ask God, create around me, bring me angels, create a vortex of heaven with me so that I can walk in love the way that I need to and do what I need to without taking it as a burden. So, yeah, I keep it really simple. And I just ask God, help me with that today. Because it's inevitable that I'm going to encounter somebody. I think we kind of attract that. Do you know what I mean? When you're a seer and a feeler, I feel like other people, because you're usually also nurturing. So other people come to you and, not knowing that sometimes it can be overwhelming. So I always ask God, help me to manage my own energy today, basically is what I'm saying. And that, when I don't do that, if I forget, and sometimes I've even done it like in the car on the way to somewhere, if I forget or I get distracted and I don't do it, I have noticed that I am not, I will get more affected by it. And I may be in the best of moods and I get around that and I'm in a really bad mood. Do you know what I mean? Or I'm exhausted or I'm grumpy, whatever it may be. It seems like today, I don't know if this is like in the air today or what, but it seems like a lot of people are really stressed out right now. I think a lot of people are tired from the time switch. I think, middle of the week, end of the week, people are kind of exhausted. So I get that. But it seemed like even my daughter today said, Mommy, why has everybody got like a sour face? And I said, I don't know. She even noticed that. So my 10-year-old noticed that. So I think maybe there's kind of, a stress right now that a lot of people are feeling. So I made sure that I prayed for that this morning. Number 2 is you have to decide that you are going to be in a good mood. You are going to be in a good mood. And you need to say that out loud. I'm going to be in a good mood today. I choose joy today, because let me tell you something. You choose what kind of mood you're going to have, okay? If you let every little thing that goes wrong just totally throw you off and it's just ruined your day and it's a catastrophe, you're choosing that. Or you can choose to look at things as divine interruptions, okay? You got behind that slow car because maybe God's protecting you from a wreck on up the road. You got behind that slow person in the store because maybe you need to be there to talk to somebody further in the line. Maybe a mom that's exhausted who's got 3 toddlers hanging off of her, and you're going to give her a little bit of encouragement. And you wouldn't have done that if that person hadn't slowed you down in line. When you start to train your mind to think like that there's a purpose for every disruption and interruption. There's a purpose when you get slowed down. It's not just to annoy you, believe it or not. It's not to drive you crazy. I always believe God divinely connects me with people. You never come in here on accident. If you've never been on my broadcast before, you didn't just wander in here on accident. You're in here on purpose for a reason. You need to hear maybe 5 words, maybe the whole thing. I always truly believe that. So as I go about in my everyday life, I believe that, if I'm late somewhere or something happens, I don't let it just ruin my day. You have to make up your mind. And I will say this out loud. And hey girl, hey, I will say, I'm going to be in a good mood today. And I'm going to be happy today, no matter what I decide. And I say it out loud. Because number 1, you're hearing it yourself and telling your mind that. And you're setting up your day to be successful and happy. And number 2, I just like to let the enemy know I'm going to have a good day today. You don't have to fool with messing with me because I'm going to have a good day. So second tip. My third tip is to be a light and speak life. So when you get around those people that are very down, very negative, let no one steal your joy. That's right. You have to continue to be annoyingly positive is what I say. Because I know you've been in a bad mood before and you've been around somebody that's just like, but it's a great day, but the sun is out, but you're still breathing, but you're still walking, but you paid your bills last night, but you woke up today. That used to annoy the crap out of me. I'll be really honest. I am now that person. Because other people need to hear that. Even if it annoys them from time to time, they may not have anybody else to speak that into their life that day. Or ever. And if you're the person that gives somebody a smile at the grocery store or tells somebody, hang in there, it will get better. I've told complete strangers this before. Hang in there. Every storm runs out of rain. Eventually. Just hang in there. Sometimes that's enough to get somebody through that day. Because maybe they didn't think they were going to make it through that day. I've had a couple of friends who committed suicide. And that is one of the most devastating things to survive, is knowing somebody that you loved was distraught enough to take their own lives. And you always wonder, could I have said something? Could I have done that plagued you? Could I have done something? Should I have said more than what I said? And of course, you have to always trust that you do your best. But I just don't like to because of that, I don't like to let an opportunity pass me by to encourage somebody. Because 5 seconds of your day to encourage somebody, if that lifts somebody's spirit that day, just for that day or that hour, maybe it's exactly what they need at that time. And if you keep your mouth shut, they don't get that encouragement. And sometimes people choose to not make it through that day. That is a reality. And we've got to be very mindful about speaking into people's lives. And yeah, it might slow you down. Yeah, it's probably not on your agenda. But it can make a huge difference. Just words can make a difference to somebody. A hug. I have gone up to people in the middle of Walmart and Target, moms that I see that are so stressed out. They look like they haven't slept in 3 years. They're a hot mess. Their babies are screaming. And I have gone up and hugged people before and said, I've been there. It gets better. You're doing a good job. I have. And my husband is very reserved. He's total opposite of me, y'all. He's like never on any kind of social media. Doesn't talk out loud. Yeah, that connection, just a connection. Like look up from your phone and make a connection with people for just a minute. You know what I mean? But my husband used to ask me, he used to get very shocked because we'd be standing in the middle of a store, like we're shopping, trying to get our grocery shopping done, which grocery shopping stresses me out anyway. And I would go up and hug a complete stranger and he'd go, do you know them? No, but I know how she feels. That's enough. So you might not be an outgoing person. It might be something that makes you uncomfortable, but think about the good you can do with that. Especially if you're a seer and a feeler in the kingdom like me, or an empath, that's what we call it. I'm going to tell you what I talk about a lot here on this page because it truly has helped me. And I'm only going to show you 2, but I use essential oils, my essential oils, Young Living's essential oils, to help me. And they do help me. Oils are all throughout the Bible. They're very healing. They're also emotionally uplifting. And I'm going to tell you about an oil, and this is going to sound weird, but I just want you to believe me when I say I'm a seer and a feeler. I have tried this, even though I was a skeptic of it. And I've had other seers and feelers in the kingdom to try this and tell me they had the same experience. And that is this oil is called White Angelica. You can't see it probably. This oil, I do not understand why this works, but I put it on before I got on here. I have a better day if I do this. I'm going to tell you exactly what I do, okay? And I can give, there are testimony after testimony of people that agree with me, and they're like, we don't know why it works, but we used it and it just worked. Oils are powerful, okay? They can work in your body in beautiful ways. They're from plants, God-made plants, so it makes sense that they just work, okay? I literally will put 2 drops, sometimes 3 if I know it's going to be a big crowd. I put it in my hand, I rub it on my shoulders, and I anoint myself. So I rub it on my shoulders, I rub it here, and I rub it on my crown, and then, of course, I take it, I don't want to mess my hair color up, so I put it up in here. And then I put it right here, and I pray as I'm doing it, Lord, I say that prayer again. I don't accept any energy but my own. Today's going to be a good day. I ask that you surround me with angels today, Lord, and help me with every person that I encounter. And I literally will take it, smell it, and then I just kind of wave it all around me. Okay? And it's like a shield to negativity. I don't know why. I cannot give you all the scientific explanation behind it, and there probably is a bunch. I can just tell you that I take in energy a lot more from other people, and it affects me emotionally, mentally, physically, like we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. When I put this on, I don't feel like that. I put it on my daughter and my husband as well, because they are both very reserved. I'm not going to call them shy. They're very reserved. They're very quiet, unlike me. But I put this on them, and they've said the same thing. I have people on this broadcast right now who will tell you it works. This oil will help you with that. It's like makes a shield. I say pray. You have to pray with it. That's just me. Y'all know I'm going to say pray. I always say pray because that's what works. And then I will also take joy. Hello, you want to keep your joy? This has got all kinds of good stuff in it. It's a blend of oils that just make you happy, okay? Oils can help you to feel better. You can smell things, and like in the spring when I smell lilac outside, it makes me really happy. And it gives me memories of the springs I've experienced before. Smells are powerful. So I just take some joy. I put a drop in my hand, because this has got like geranium. This has, I'll tell you what oils. It has geranium, lemon, coriander, jasmine, Roman chamomile. Is it rose oil in here? Yeah, rose oil. Rose oil is very powerful. I put a drop right here, put it in my hands like this, and I rub it on my chest so that I will smell it all day. And it's like my perfume, but I'm not chemically like invading somebody's space. And it helps other people when they smell it to be happier. You can improve somebody's mood by wearing an oil and getting around them a whole lot. So that is what I do with this oil. Now there's a bunch more you can use and try, but these are the 2 in particular that to help you to protect your good mood. Those are my tips for this Thursday night. So get the notifications turned on and hop up here with me. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe I'll be goofy. Just never know what I'm going to be up to.